laced up.
Let's go!
It's time for Banter with the boys.
Welcome back to Banter with the Boys Fast Laps. We are here to recap the Australian Grand Prix and look forward to the China Grand Prix coming up this weekend. I am here with Mike, our one and only guest co-host. Smelty is out today. We miss you, buddy. I'm going to miss you because I have to talk to my good friend Mike for the next hour.
He doesn't like talking to me.
I mean... All right, listen, let's just get it out of the way. There was a moment in our last podcast where I freaked out a little bit, but we could talk about it because this was a very interesting race. So I think we should just jump in.
Yes, sir.
Let's and of course, Kev, our producer, our main man, making it all happen behind the scenes.
The GOAT.
Let's just jump into it. I think we should start with some pre-race stuff, maybe, because it was still an interesting pre-race. You know, practices into quali, into 40 minutes before the grid lineup.
Oh my gosh,
it was quite a hectic weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, where do you want to start?
Okay. I mean, I did actually watch all the practices, which usually I don't. There was so much going on, so many accidents and whatnot, so many issues with drivers keeping all four wheels on the track and whatnot and spinning out and going off into the gravel pits and everything.
Yeah.
So much so that the FIA actually, I had mentioned that they were going to have 5 straight zones. They brought it down to 4. And then right before qualifying, got yelled at by enough of the fans and the drivers and decided to bring it back up to 5 again.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
It was literally over the course of 24 hours, they said, no more, never mind, we're doing it anyways. So, yeah, it was kind of crazy in pre-testing. And, my reaction, I think you were the one that messaged me that was, with the news about Oscar.
Yeah.
That, I flew to my computer.
Yep.
You were like, Oscar crashed before the race. I was like, what?
Yeah, literally the recon laps. They let them do some recon laps to kind of see how the road was, and then just go right into the pits. And yeah, I mean, it's hard to say it was the car's fault. I think it was probably a little bit of mix of both. That's what McLaren is saying, is a mix of both. But I think he just did something he shouldn't have done. He got into the curb, applied a little bit too much gas. He said that he wasn't expecting the torque that it was giving him, which I think can be fair, but also he probably shouldn't be on the curb. It's gutting though. I was so disappointed, not just because I had him first in my predictions. That also hurt, but it's his home race, man. This is two years in a row where he is not going to finish well. I mean, he didn't finish at all this year, so it's pretty gutting.
So here's the question though. So last year, Isaac Hadjar went out in the formation lap. This year, Oscar Piastri goes out in the pre-setup, going out to the track before the formation lap. So how much earlier can we get next year?
Yeah, I think next year we're going to need a fire to happen in the garage. Yeah, right? I think of one of the cars.
The morning of,
yeah, we just couldn't get it out of gear. Just drove straight into the pit lane.
I have no clue what happened. Lance Stroll was pulling out of the pit and hit the pit wall.
We don't know why he was in the car. He didn't have his suit on. No, it's pretty unfortunate. And before that, even qualifying was kind of weird because Max got out in Q1. Yeah. Which it has happened before. It has happened before, but I think only once before in the last, few years, memory serving me. Right. Obviously when he first joined in, he probably had a couple of those, but last year I think he had one, and then the year before that I don't think he had any of those. So very rare to see that, especially the first race of the season. This time, however, very much not his fault. Sounded like he hit the brakes and it completely locked up his rears, and doing that while turning is just going to send you into a crazy slide, and it did.
He hadn't even turned yet.
Yeah.
Literally, if you watch his onboard, his wheel was still straight. He hit the brakes and his back end came out, and then he turned immediately to the left to try and counter
and it was just too much of a snap.
No, it was crazy.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. Something I don't think we're going to see a lot of. Besides that, though, not a ton of craziness coming from quali. That was the big thing, I think.
I did want to get it into that. I think we all, or at least most of us, probably did it. Of like when we were watching qualifying, and the camera feed just snaps, and we see a Red Bull bouncing on the gravel and then hitting the wall.
Hadjar, no.
Hadjar, no.
Yeah, but I think I clocked it as max almost immediately because it cut to, I think the first camera cut to an onboard view, and I saw the white helmet with the line on top, and I'm like, wait a second, like, because there was a split second, I was like, that's got to be Hadjar, but I think we had just seen him complete a lap, or we saw him in the garage or something.
Right.
But yeah, that was wild. We won't see that very often.
No. But I think the only other weird things things of note in qualifying.
There were a couple things with Mercedes.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
like for example, Kimi Antonelli needing to get his car fixed to even get out for qualifying.
Crashing in FP3, the mechanics doing what they do, getting it ready for qualifying and getting it ready. And then Max being a saving grace, crashing and giving him the extra time he needed to get out there.
Holy cow. Yeah. I was seeing jokes from people online talking about the Mercedes the Mercedes mechanics and engineers just after fixing Antonelli's car, and it's just like a line of white powder.
Oh yeah.
Like they're out here like, woo, we're ready, baby.
Yeah, it was very interesting. Stroll and Sainz never made it out of the garage. Nope. Q1. Gabby got into Q3 and then stopped in the pit lane before making it any further into Q3. Had car issues there, and because he was technically on track, he could not get back in the car and finish if they happened to fix it. So that would have been interesting for Audi.
Heartbreaking, but at least he made it to Q3, which is it's a big shout.
Yes.
So
yeah, well, we can get into the race, and I guess this is still technically pre-race. Oscar obviously, and then Nico Hulkenberg.
Yep.
Going into the garage before the race starts as well.
They were having problems with, I think they were saying like it was something about like communications or something.
Yes,
like a communications
radio
error.
issues.
And so in the exploratory lap, they found the problems. They had him come in, and they were going to have him start from the pit lane to see if they could get it fixed by the time race start happened. Race start happened, couldn't get it fixed. Not worth taking the risk. Just retire the car.
Yeah. So that is unfortunate. Considering Gabby did get into Q1, we can just kind of talk about Audi for a second. He also finished in
10th?
In 10th or 9th rather.
9th, yeah.
So still a good showing from Audi. I mean, I don't think Kick did that on the first race, so that was pretty good, right?
Yep. As an Audi fan, I am happy, and that's out of Bortoletto. Objectively, like, he's a very strong rookie, probably the weaker of the two drivers.
Sure.
So the fact that we were able to see Gabby put in such a great performance is great. That only gives me more hope going into the next race. That we'll see maybe this Audi put up even better performances. So
yep,
feel good about that.
Yeah. I was not expecting them to be as strong as they were, but they definitely surprised me for sure. I'm curious to see how they're going to do in the long run for development, because I think that's what's really going to shake up some things. And I don't know if they're going to be as good in that, but we'll see.
You think so?
I don't know. I don't know. Everything's been flipped on its head for me.
A lot of what we have for the Audi team right now is basically the same as we had for the Kick Sauber team last year. Like, Kick Sauber last year was effectively just Audi without the name. So we saw what they were able to do last year, how they started from basically a back marker team to by the end or by the midway point of the season and towards the end, they were racing up regularly 4 points.
They were.
And they were fighting for 6th and 7th place. So if they're able to do that again, then I think there's a very real chance that we could see them.
I think they got some teams ahead of them that they're going to have some trouble with that we can kind of call out in a few minutes here. But I think we have to kind of talk about the elephant in the room, unless you have anything else.
No. I'm curious if your elephant is the same as mine. We might be looking at two different elephants.
It might be two different elephants. I mean, the elephant is the one that got a 1-2 this weekend.
Okay, different elephant.
Mercedes, dominant race.
Yep.
Really only had some trouble at the start, and then just kind of took it away by halfway point.
Yeah.
they're kind of the ones to beat right now, right? Ferrari's clear second is what Smelty put here in my pre-pro, right behind Merc. We could talk a little bit about who comes after that because there's a little bit of a mix-up there. But Leclerc looked good starting, and the racing is so weird. I do have a little bit here. I want to talk about the racing, but Mercedes, right? Like Antonelli, this goes into your predictions a little bit. You put him in top 5. I discounted him because he's a second-year rookie. He very much surprised me.
Oh yeah, he performed so well. I was watching him like cut through the field, like it was easy for him.
Yeah,
like racing his way back up to, what did he finish in second? Yeah. So like watching him cut his way through the field is like, it was unbelievable seeing that, and he made it look effortless pretty much every pass. Like, even though I put him high, I'm still impressed.
And he qualified second as well, but had both of them. I mean, there's so much to talk about. I'm just like reliving the race now in the moment. That start was insane. We have so much to talk about when it comes to the start, because the Mercedes, they both reported not having zero battery at the start, which is, we've learned, very bad. It'll make them very slow, and it did make them very slow. Lights went out. Leclerc just rocketed past them. Rocketed past 3 cars. Rocketed past... Yes, Hadjar, Antonelli, and Russell, all 3 of them, and just got in front. Hamilton very close behind. We got a lot of reports that they would be the best on the starts, and that looks to be true. Very, very strong.
When we heard they were going to be the best on the starts, I was initially like, sure, that'll probably give them an advantage a little bit here or there. Holy crap, that was night and day.
Yeah, if this was last year and T1 was as important as it was last year, race would have been over.
It would have been done.
It would have been done. Luckily, racing is so different now that we got a bit more fighting, but
which I know you and I have talked a little bit about it because we watched the race together live.
Yeah,
but like we can go over this a little bit more. How have things settled with the fighting that happened at the start? Are you happy seeing all of that fighting? Are you still kind of so mixed on it, or what are you thinking so far?
So for context, we were talking because we've watched the race together. We talked a little bit about it. I don't love that the racing is just. I don't love how it kind of looked like for a little bit. It was just like one lap after the other. The person behind was getting in front, because it makes me worried that we might get into a situation where it's just like, if you're behind on the right lap, then every other lap after that you're going to be ahead, which means you might win just because of that. Leclerc disproved that for me after kind of watching some highlights back, because he fought off Russell pretty well in some areas. So I feel better about the racing. I definitely think it's going to be more exciting. I mean, we were pretty hyped just watching everything happen.
Oh, yeah. It was
and it was very different. We did still get into a little bit of a lull, I think, after halfway, where... I think, Mercedes had clean air, and it looks like they're really good in clean air. So they just kind of walked away with it a little bit. But I am feeling better about it. I'm still a little hesitant. I'm waiting to see what China looks like and what maybe the third race after that looks like. But you like it, though.
I did like it. I liked it a lot. I really enjoy watching the fighting back and forth. It's very exciting. It's very action-packed. It's fun watching them so close, and especially after the last couple seasons where it feels like a driver will take away in turn 1 and we'll just start watching the midfield because there's no point in watching the leader anymore. And that wasn't the case this weekend. It was very exciting, and we had made a mention, or I think you had made mention when we were watching or after the race about Hamilton coming up and catching up to the 2 of them because the 2 of them were fighting so much. And I was like, I love that, because these 2 are fighting so much. It opens up opportunities for the third racer to come in, and then it falls back to whoever's in second place has to start making split decisions. Am I defending on this corner or am I attacking on this corner? And there's just more intricacies. You'll see more moving from all the cars. And that sort of stuff really gets me excited because it takes more cars into play for first. Which is always fun.
So good to view, but good to drive. I think still up in the air a little bit. I don't know if you've heard after the race how drivers felt. I didn't look too deeply into it, but before the race, I don't think they all loved it.
No.
There's a lot more management involved. The cars are a bit more unpredictable in some areas. They didn't say it during the race or whenever it was, but there was a point where Charles called it Mario Kart, like
Yeah.
using a mushroom.
Yep.
So if we had any calm call outs, that would be mine, right? But
I didn't hear any.
I didn't really hear anything other than that after the race.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, it was pretty light. But yeah, so Mercedes, George Russell, I mean, showing he's lead driver, just taking it home. Like, I mean, gave it to Leclerc for, defending as long as he did.
Yep.
But Russell, got to give Russell his flowers. He deserved that win. He was obviously so fast in qualifying.
Oh,
just
yeah.
the fastest person out
Oh, yeah.
there by a mile. Antonelli not too far behind.
Yep.
Jumping into Ferrari, though, Hamilton's kind of back, and that's exciting.
That is exciting.
I completely discounted him after like the first 3 races last year, and now I'm like, I mean, you're once again, to bring in your predictions, the 2 people that I was like, you're crazy on were Antonelli and Hamilton, and I mean, second and
fourth.
Was it fourth?
Fourth, yep.
Second and fourth, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it's the dream's alive.
And
Like,
Hamilton was talking about, like he mentioned in post-race interviews, that if there were just a few more laps, he felt confident that he would have caught Charles.
sure.
So, I mean, like he's feeling good. I don't know if Melbourne is one of his better tracks or not. I don't.
Yeah.
But when we start getting to places like Great Britain, when we get to Silverstone, I mean, there's a real world we see him on my podium.
I'm already calling it. I did it last year. I'm doing it
Yep.
again.
Yep.
All Brit podium.
It's the
this
dream.
time maybe Behrman.
Maybe Behrman.
Maybe Arvid Lindblad. Who knows?
Dude. Okay, so can we talk a little bit about Arvid, because this is a good segue.
Can we talk about? Yeah, let's talk about him.
Yeah.
Let's
you
do
know
it.
what?
Let's do it.
I went into this. Holy crap! So we talked in our last pod. I gave my top 5. I did write down all of the drivers in whatever order I thought they were going to score.
Yeah.
All 22. And Arvid Lindblad was one of the drivers I put down would score no points this season.
Yeah.
Part of that was because I wasn't expecting the V-Carb to be good. The other part was because I just didn't know anything about him. He's very new. He did so-so in Formula 2 last year. I just didn't think there was going to be much to get out of him. But holy crap, that guy
He drove the brakes off of that V-Carb. He drove
Almost
that V-Carb
literally.
like no one's ever driven it before. Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah,
I gotta give
rapid.
it to him. He's rapid. And then Liam was nowhere, but
Liam
that's
was-
okay, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really have much to say about Liam because Arvid just did so incredibly well.
Right.
And that's like, I have no words. It's
Yeah.
just insane. I already didn't know. I mentioned just in the preseason, I didn't know where to put V-Carb.
Yep.
So I put them pretty much in the middle just because it was like, no one said they're bad. No one said they're good. They seem there.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm fairly correct, but it leads us into the question, who's best of the rest? It's kind of a little hard to tell at the moment, right?
It is a little hard to tell. That also kind of leads me to the other elephant in the room that I was looking at. Alpine.
Alpine.
What happened to Alpine? Like all 3 of us were in agreement that Alpine was going to come out swinging. And we did say that they were going to score points this race, and they did.
They did.
They scored a singular point from Pierre. But we kind of expected better when you consider the other midfield teams that they were racing against. Oliver Behrman up in, was it 7th?
He was 7th, yes.
7th. And Arvid Lindblad in
8th.
8th? Yeah. So, like, you've got that, and then you've got Audi right ahead of them in 9th. So, like, the other midfield teams that they realistically should be beating are, like, they made the Alpines look bad, honestly.
Yeah.
And so I genuinely feel like that Alpine got dragged into 10th just by sheer force of will from one Pierre Gasly.
I mean, yeah, I will say, I think the only one, he pretty much replaced Lawson. I mean, Behrman fought into the top 10 though.
He did. Yes.
Who else did we lose from the top 10 in qualifying? Piastri. That's who we
Piastri,
lost.
yep.
So yeah, it was Behrman and Gasly who made it in the top 10. Otherwise, the rest of the field was in the top 10 for qualifying. Yeah, I mean, I would say, I'm just to channel Smelty a little bit here. I'm not going to count this as their benchmark. I think maybe they just had like a bad race. Going back to the start, Franco had a horrible start. Just kind of, actually, no, sorry. Liam had a horrible start. Franco had amazing start. Had just the if you guys Kev, I'm almost asking you to see this right. Look at this right now. It's crazy. Oh my gosh. Franco makes just an incredible save. Kev is going to watch it live. We're not going to see his reaction, but I'll explain his reaction.
Colapinto dodges Lawson.
Yeah, Colapinto. Yeah, so at the start, lights go out. Lawson does not move. Colapinto drives through and is sending it almost basically into the back of Colapinto and just into the back of Lawson and just narrowly avoids him.
So... yeah, this was crazy to watch, and we didn't see this until after the race was done. We saw this in the cool down room.
The cool down room
when we saw the podium react to this, and we see Colapinto. Whoa!
Yeah, so Liam is not completely stationary. He just gets an incredibly slow launch, which also sends him way back. Colapinto is going way faster. Like I said, sends it into the back of him and just narrowly avoids him. I'm saying like. Truly centimeters wheel to wheel, like that would have been amazing. So that was for a second year, that's a crazy good reaction. Like I am not a huge fan of Colapinto. I don't think he's going to do crazy good, but I mean, Kev, like that's insane, right? That's crazy. He has the technology.
Will you have a Kev mic today?
So that was crazy. I didn't expect it to be that close. It reminded me of the Hadjar incident in the tunnel in that one race, where he was just slowly coming around the corner and he just like. Last second just missed whoever was in the tunnel. Remember?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember.
I don't know who was in the tunnel or not, but he was like slowly creeping around that blind right corner.
Was that F2, right?
I don't know if it was F2 or not, but I know it was Hadjar who did the juking out.
Sure. There was another F2 moment, I think, in that same. It was Monaco, the same tunnel.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that was insane. Insane.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of.
Hadjar Monaco tunnel is the first thing. It was F2.
Yeah, it was F2. Yep.
Yeah, slow
He's
moving.
cooking around this corner.
Yeah.
Ritomo Miata slow moving in the Monaco tunnel, and then in comes Hadjar directly behind, blind corner, and then just a crazy good dodge.
Yeah.
That's exactly what that reminded me of.
You guys can't see this, even if you are watching the video, because it would be bad to show it to you. But look it up. Hadjar Monaco tunnel, and then, I mean, if you haven't watched the race, go watch it. It was a great race this weekend. What were we talking about? Best of the rest. So yes, Alpine. I'm not going to place them super low at the moment. I think it's been one race. I want to see how they do in China. But I mean, the best of the rest really kind of line up the bottom of the top 10, right? We have Haas, VCarb, Haas, VCarb, Audi, and Alpine. I had Audi much lower.
Right.
I think the team that I might be missing, Williams. Williams had a horrible weekend.
Which I think was kind of to be expected from what we've been hearing. So
I would say though, like those bottom of the bottom 10, or rather bottom of the top 10. Those four teams are kind of our best of the rest at the moment. Aston Martin isn't going to be anywhere for a while, or maybe at all. But yeah, I mean, so like, who do you put it? Who is best of the rest of you? Is it Haas? Behrman had a crazy. I mean, he got up there. He was not in the top 10 at the start of that race.
So after race one, and obviously it's super early to really tell. I want to say Haas in part. There's some bias.
Sure,
there's a little bit of bias, but like also just like Oliver Behrman killed it. Esteban Ocon kind of sweating his job prospect. I don't know if you heard, but Haas did sign Jack Doohan as a reserve driver.
I heard.
I'm
I heard
so
that.
stoked about that.
Yeah.
So
Ocon might be sweating. That's a good point. I didn't even think that he could maybe. It would be an insane move for Haas to kick out a driver, right? Like who gave them the right?
Imagine the world.
Who gave them the right?
Esteban Ocon is over here like, did I just get kicked out of Haas?
Yeah, that's insane. But that'd be great. I like Jack Doohan, so I don't love Ocon. So
I don't love Ocon either. So honestly, a lineup of Doohan and Behrman. I'm kind of down for it. I'm kind of down.
Is Doohan also British?
No, he's Australian.
You're right. Yep. He is. Same thing. Anyway. I'm just joking. So no filter, no bias. Who are you putting in your best of the rest?
Probably at the moment Haas, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of kind of hard to say. I would love to see Audi get up there, but I don't think they're quite pushing there. But we'll see. I think the big deciding factor for Haas right now is the fact that historically they're bad at developing through the season.
Sure. Yeah.
But last year we saw that wasn't the case. They did develop well through the season. And I think the biggest changing factor for that was Toyota, them taking TGR on. TGR has been doing so much to help them, so many more facilities that they have now that they didn't have before. So I think that's a huge boon. And if TGR can help push Haas forward, Haas could very reasonably get best of the rest.
I'm pretty close with you, I would say. If I had to make any changes, I said Haas, Alpine, and then V-Carb. I mean, they're qualifying Lawson and Lindblad in Q3.
Right.
Neither the Haas's were.
True, yeah.
So, but then again, we say that Arvid's race pace was obviously pretty good, but Liam's was nowhere.
Yep.
So, and that's where it really matters, right?
Yeah.
But the qualifying, I would say it's I would put it Haas against V-Carb at the moment, and then I'm not giving up on Alpine quite yet. It's the Smelty in me. I gotta give them a little bit more credit. This might have just been a bad weekend.
You're right.
They might come back in China. I'd like to see what they can do a little bit more.
We'll see.
So we will see. Let's see. That's best of the rest. We talked about the racing. I guess really quickly, not it doesn't have to be really quick, but any surprises from the teams or the drivers that you kind of take away from this weekend? Like,
I think the only real major surprises that it really had was like what was kind of going on with Aston. We knew Aston probably wasn't going to finish the race, but like nothing hit me quite as hard as halfway through the race. Us like, is Alonso on the track again?
Yeah. It's like I'm stealing this meme from someone, but yeah, it's like Elden Ring boss music turns on when you see the Alonso lights flick back on. It's like
Enter boss music.
That's exactly right. Yeah, no, I knew that they weren't going to have a race, and I knew that. I mean, everyone was saying that they were going to pit and retire.
Yeah.
Was not expecting Stroll to actually finish the race.
Right.
Granted, after retiring, but after boxing once and being in the garage for a while.
But still.
But it's, I mean, they did what they should have done. They treated it as a big test session, which was really good. They needed that.
This is the closest that Aston has gotten to a full race distance this entire season.
Oh man.
They have not done a single race distance across the shakedown or Bahrain.
Or practices.
They have
That's
not done
crazy.
a single full race distance yet. And obviously they didn't do a full race distance.
Do you know if
Saturday.
the laps that they did on Saturday got them there?
No.
Wow.
I mean, well, if you were to put the two cars together, yes, but no one car did a full race distance.
That's disheartening. Disheartening. It was not where you want to see a team, just completely not being in the race even a little bit.
Holy cow. And also for whatever's with Joe and I, we like to watch these races together typically if we can. We, going into this race, decided to make a small little wager between us of guessing over-under on how many DNFs there were going to be.
Yeah. You said, so you initially said 3.
Yes.
And then you're like, oh, wait, but we have to account for Aston, so I guess 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was assuming there would be 5 DNFs.
Under 5.
And
I
so
said over 5. And
yeah.
I think because Stroll technically finished, we got exactly 5 DNFs. And we were counting DNSs and DNFs together.
Right.
So Oscar was included and stuff like that.
And Hulkenberg was included
But I mean, first race, new regs, I was like, yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
It's going to be all over the place.
It's going to be all over the place. We didn't talk about him. I have to do it for my boy Kev, and just in general, Hajar. Listen, really bad luck with this car breaking down, but I'm going to say it. Second seat curse might be over with. He was strong in qualifying, and he was third place in qualifying.
Yeah.
Crazy good.
Phenomenal.
And then very strong in the race up until Kev is up in the air. Very strong until his car decided to die.
Yep.
Which is, I mean, honestly, if you've ever owned a Ford, it's going to happen eventually. So I have a Ford, Kev. I should know. My car's never died. Anyway.
Starts panicking a little.
I mean,
knock on wood.
Hajar, I knock on wood. Hajar, crazy good showing.
Great.
I once again completely discounted because second year, but
Yep.
he's Man, Liam, Yuki,
and I think
Pierre. They're all punching the air right now. Danny, all punching the air.
Since we've brought up my predictions and all these predictions that I've been correct about so far. When I went through and I read my entire 22 drivers, Hadjar was in 6th, and I think both Smelty and Joe were agog when I said that. They were like, "Oh," and I was like, "Yeah." So I'm feeling pretty good about that one too. That's for you, Kev. That's for you.
You said Hadjar in 6. Yeah, you did.
I did say Hadjar in 6.
But that doesn't count. So, but speaking of predictions a little bit, we can we'll just touch on our predictions a little bit because we made them last year for the whole year. Our last race, last pod. I need to just slow down a little bit. I don't usually do this. This being host, just to be clear. Okay. I've been talking about it all pod so far. I am. You were right. Hamilton and Antonelli in the top 5 is incredibly likely. We didn't even talk about them, but we probably should. McLaren, Lando did not qualify well, but he held his position.
Honestly, good.
He 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
Okay, so Piastri went out, so 5th, but he started in 6th position, technically 5th, and ended up holding off Max Verstappen.
Yeah.
Who we also didn't talk about, Max Verstappen from 20th, right?
20th, yeah.
20th to 6th.
Yeah.
That's just what Max Verstappen does. So we should not be counting him out for the rest of the season.
No.
Right?
Which is another one where we were joking about Lando Norris just driving and all of a sudden, why do I hear boss music?
Yeah. Not to speak for your predictions, but Russell was 3rd. How do you feel about that?
Well, I don't know. We'll see. I still think the Mercedes is probably the best car.
Yeah.
I kind of took a gamble. I was saying when I made these predictions that I won last year, so I'm gonna do something a little more fun this year and maybe throw a little bit more of a Hail Mary and see. My gut was telling me that Mercedes was gonna be the best. But I'm not a big George fan, so I didn't feel super good about putting George on the front.
Yeah.
And I do like Charles, so I was like, let's just do it.
No one but me likes George. I don't get it.
That's not true. Smelter likes George.
No, that's true.
He really likes George.
You don't like George, though.
I'm not a big fan of George.
He's the only other person besides another person that I also likes F1 that I work with likes George. Everyone else hates George for some reason, man. Listen, he's just a silly little guy.
He is a silly little guy. His T-pose is iconic, though.
His T-pose is iconic, and we might be seeing it a little bit. I'm not going to lie. Let's see. The only kind of ick on my predictions for WDC is Piastri Norris. It's not looking good right now. They develop well over a season. We've seen that happen before, so maybe there's a fighting chance. And also, listen, he crashed before he got to the grid, but Piastri did qualify well.
He did. Yeah, he was rapid.
We didn't get to see how well he does against the Ferrari and the Mercedes. Lando said it himself, nowhere near them. So that's fine.
Right.
But
I feel like Lando was kind of struggling all throughout the qualifying session.
Yeah, he was. He completely missed FP1.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that didn't help. Right.
Yeah.
I think Lando needs 3 practice sessions.
Yeah.
But yeah, he right. He was, I feel like, almost consistently 5/10 away from Piastri. So he definitely was struggling. Because he was struggling, I think good result at the end of the weekend.
Yeah,
probably best. He fended off Max. I don't think you can be any happier.
Right.
That being said, though, I might boot Norris off my top 5 if I had a chance to now.
Yeah.
And I might replace him with Hamilton because the Ferrari does look really good.
And I think the other thing to keep in mind is obviously the Mercedes engine right now is still using the I forget how to describe it. The compression. Yeah, the compression ratio thing that they're doing.
Yeah.
And that will be taken off by August. That will have to be changed by August.
Yeah.
And so we don't know how much of a dip in performance that's going to create. But pretty much every Mercedes powertrain is probably going to take something of a hit for that reason.
I'm predicting, and we all know how bad my predictions are, I'm predicting that it probably won't be too bad of a hit, but we'll find out.
I think it'll be noticeable, but I don't think it's going to be like a
championship breaking.
Maybe, probably not.
Oh, that'd suck.
Because Ferrari Ferrari's not going to lose anything out of it.
Well, we need Ferrari to win because that's our top constructor, right?
Yeah.
Out of the constructors, I think the only one that I should have put down lower and maybe raised up. Williams and Audi, I probably would switch now. Yep. Seeing how bad Williams was this weekend, they have a long way to go.
I think, however, we could see Williams bring it back once they get their weight thing figured out. When they get weight figured out, I mean, Williams does have the better drivers, right? Or the better lineup of drivers, I should say.
Yeah.
So, like when we take that into account, they've got the Mercedes powertrain, which is a huge boon for them. Once they get their weight figured out, they could be a real contender. So who knows how long that'll take.
Do you still feel good about your top 10 constructors or top 11? Or just 11? They're only 11. I don't know why I say top.
No. I have Red Bull in second. That's probably
you'd have Red Bull. Oh, you have Red Bull in second. You would move them down.
I would probably move them down.
Yeah.
The Ferrari or the Mercedes is obviously.
That's a good point. I'd probably move McLaren behind Red Bull now. I think too. It's only been one race though. And the qualifying and the race are both crazy. Anything could change. I mean, we could see Haas jump up. Who knows, man? Who knows? Cadillac could actually do something.
You mean that? Okay,
anyway,
well, let's not get too ahead of
ourselves. That's our recap. I'm calling it there for that. We have a little bit of a new segment that we're going to do here. I'm calling it, without any permission, Kev's Corner. We're going to kick it to Kev to ask a couple questions that he had. He's going to get himself on mic for the second time ever.
Let's go.
I think, right? No, you've been on mic before in other shows, but maybe not this one. Not F1.
Not an F1.
So yeah, we have no idea what these questions are, so apologies.
We're just going to wing it.
We're bad at the answers.
Oh, I'm never bad.
All right. Kevin back on mic here, guys. So first question that I have for you guys was kind of a generalized question, but with the new active aero and boost modes, how do you guys feel that impacted the race?
Want to take it first, I guess?
I guess I can. I don't know how I feel about it because it does, like, the new active aero thing is interesting. It's creating more opportunities for fighting, I guess, because it's easier to pass with the active aero and the boost. I don't like the comparison of it being like a video game. I think, like, Antonelli also said that he felt like he was playing a video game. Like, when he hits the boost button, it just feels a little goofy. So, I'm not a big fan of that. But I think so far, I'm okay with it. I think I'm going to need to give it a few more races. I know there's a bunch of people who are, like, pitchforks and torches against it. But I'll take this over a DRS train any day.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think the active aero is very interesting because whereas we would only see a car part move if they were 1 second behind someone during certain places, now we see the car parts move always, no matter who they're behind or no matter where they are. And it's at 5 places instead of maybe 2 or 3. So it's a bit different seeing that. The boost mode is interesting. I think it's very interesting because if you get it wrong one lap, you're just kind of screwed for the rest of the lap. Or if you get it wrong at a part of the lap, you might be screwed for the rest of the lap. We saw that. I mean, like they have to worry about it at the start. There was that delayed start as well. Mm-hmm. I also don't love how like you said, it feels like a video game. I also mentioned earlier how there was a lot of back and forth lap after lap, and I'm holding my judgment for now. I'm still worried that it might lead to, well, if he's ahead of me this lap and it's the second to last lap, I can get ahead of him next lap and we'll be good. I'm hoping there'll be more defense opportunities and maybe the drivers will learn how to defend from it a little bit more using boost. So we'll see.
I like it. That kind of transitions nicely into my secondary question here. So with the new car designs and wrecks this season here and the vehicles themselves being smaller in comparison to years past, do you feel that there was a drastic difference? An example, did anybody take a chance or make a move this race that you wouldn't have expected in a previous year?
Well, I think at least one driver took a move, and that was George Russell when he tried to dive on the inside of Leclerc and had no chance and locked his tires.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So I guess that happened, but outside of that, I don't really think I saw anything out of the ordinary in terms of moves, dive bombs, anything like that. It was more... I did see some overtaking in a couple of different places on this track. But because of the extra DRS zone and whatnot, there were a couple of other like corners or like bends and stuff like that where I saw Leclerc overtaking George, and I was like, oh, okay, that's a different place to overtake.
Yeah. I would agree. I think most of the overtakes I saw were like, I've seen similar things to that. Nothing really caught my eye. If I had to say, there was a really good overtake from Charles on Russell on the back straight that was already a DRS beforehand, right before that chicane. That was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Probably one of the highlights of the race. So to answer your question, I don't think I've seen anything different. It all seemed like just overtakes. There just were more of them all over the place. That's Kev's Corner, baby.
That's Kev's Corner.
That's Kev's Corner. Thank you, Kev. Amazing questions.
Didn't have any questions about Hajar while we were here?
Yeah.
Or nothing?
Anything? He's going
I'll let you ask.
Amazing. All right. Well, that should bring us right into our final segment. We're going up to speed. I'm here to bring you up to speed for the China recap. We'll bring you up to speed here. We'll talk about what's coming up, what happened last year a little bit. We're looking forward to the Formula One Heineken Chinese Grand Prix 2026. A fun fact, as always, in 2005, Mike, China was host to the final showdown of the Constructors' Championship against Renault and McLaren. And Juan Pablo Montoya hit a loose drain cover, destroying his car and losing the Constructors' Championship for McLaren.
Oh, that feels so bad.
Doesn't that suck?
That sucks so much.
Remember when they were like, it was 18 years. It could have been
Do the math.
10, no.
Carry the
18,
two.
no, never mind. Mike, do you have a weather update for us this weekend?
Oh, I didn't get the weather. You can keep going through your things. I will go and pull weather up.
While Mike is looking up the weather, we'll just kind of
ill-prepared.
talk over what happened last year. We saw Lewis Hamilton win the sprint race last year. He had a tough time during the race after qualifying fourth. Leclerc did injure his front wing on Hamilton's back wheel, but actually outclassed him through the rest of the race. So good race from Leclerc. And in the race, like most of the year, incredibly strong showing from the McLaren, specifically Oscar, who fended off Russell while his teammate got ahead of him at T2. They would go on to fight for some positions 18 laps later after their pits. Alonso experienced a brake fire during his race and had to retire after only 4 laps. We saw a fun moment from Ocon, who overtook Antonelli with one wheel in the dirt. And we saw a ton of highlights of overtakes being made by the Haas, specifically Behrman. After each pass, he spoke out on the radio saying, ciao. His efforts rewarded him in the points, second race of the season. I don't have the finals for the race, but I believe it was Oscar and then Lando
right.
1-2.
Yes. Oh, and last year also was the sprint. It is a sprint weekend again, by the way. And this was the sprint that Lewis won. So maybe,
Yes, I said that.
Yes. This could be a good sign for Lewis. Sorry, I was looking up the weather. I guess
That's
I missed
okay.
that
You're
part.
right. That's my bad. I shouldn't do that. The results: Oscar, Lando, George, Max, Ocon. That can't be right.
Hey, he finishes well sometimes.
Ocon finished 5th in China last year.
Yeah.
I mean, Haas might be good at this track. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? What's the weather look like?
Oh yeah, so it looks like it's gonna be no rain throughout the weekend. Pretty balmy. Between the lowest appears to be practice 1 is gonna be 11C, to the Grand Prix is 19C. So that's like 50 to 65 degrees, give or take.
Cooler.
So a little cooler. The Grand Prix is supposed to be mostly cloudy, but only like a 10% chance of rain.
Cooler race then. Okay.
Yeah, so cooler race, probably cooler track temperatures.
Interesting.
So there are certain teams that benefit from that,
All right.
which that might affect my predictions.
Well, I think that brings us into our predictions.
Oh no, I'm not ready.
Last week, I got no points.
Oh my gosh, you poor thing.
It was a rough week. I said Piastri, Verstappen, Norris. Piastri crashed before the race. Verstappen crashed in qualifying, and Norris just didn't show up.
We were talking.
Yeah.
I think what was it before qualifying or something like that, Or maybe it was when we were watching FP3, we were talking about how, thank goodness we have Max Verstappen. It's our free point. Whoops.
Yep.
That didn't happen.
Mike,
That's me.
you got away with 1 point because you put Leclerc in your top 3.
Yep.
He was followed by Verstappen and Piastri. That did not happen. And then Smeltzy was the genius of us all. He also put Piastri, but he also put Leclerc and Russell, but in flipped positions, so he only got 2 points. But that does mean he is in the lead. Smeltzy with 2, you with 1, and me, as always, leading the rear with 0. Yay. So Smeltzy isn't here, but we did get his predictions in. So I'll have you read those off for me if you don't mind.
I did go pull this up real quick. So Smelty has in order in first Charles Leclerc
Okay.
to George Russell,
Okay.
and then Lewis Hamilton finishing out the podium for his first ever podium with Ferrari.
Ferrari. I like that. I like it a lot.
Wow.
Mike, you are up next.
Oh boy. So, I'll hand you the bag. I mentioned that colder track temperatures help certain teams,
Okay.
so I'm gonna pick a mostly boring podium.
Okay.
I'm gonna put George Russell in first.
Okay.
I'm gonna put Kimi Antonelli in second,
Okay.
and then in third, I'm putting Lewis Hamilton. Because I also think Lewis will do well here.
Yeah, I also think Hamilton will do well here, but it's just in what order do I want to put them in?
Do we mix it up?
So
Will
you
Lewis get a win?
mentioned cooler tracks. I know last year cooler tracks helped the Mercedes a ton. You still think that's true?
According to George, in this last race, after the race in post-race interviews, George did comment track temperatures were a little bit cooler than normal. That does tend to benefit us, and those were straight from his mouth.
Okay. Well, I need to make up some points. I know we're only second race in, but I want to do something a little bit different. And I was thinking of this guy from the beginning, Max Verstappen, putting him in first, and then I'll go Russell, and I will also go Hamilton. So we're all putting Hamilton in third. I do think Hamilton's going to come in clutch here. Kev, do you have any predictions that you want to shout out?
Yeah, shout out.
Hadjar.
Okay, we're putting him on the board. Imagine Hadjar's the only one to finish.
How did Hadjar do last
Let's
season
get
in
it.
this race?
Hadjar
He did
last
pretty darn
season,
well, didn't he?
Let's see. Where did Hadjar? He got 11th.
Oh,
He was 2 seconds off of Sainz, who in 10th. So
I feel like I remembered him doing pretty well. I remember talking about him, like how he came back super hard after his DNF and proved really well. Maybe it was just because he'd finished 11th.
both Ferraris disqualified from the Chinese Grand Prix. I did not
Yep.
mention that in my recap
That did happen for skid plate
because
wear.
for skid plate wear.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to do that again this year.
Oh no. Oh no.
Ferraris might be riding extra high this year.
Yeah. They're gonna make a wing that turns to generate even more lift.
Yeah,
so they're
right.
going up higher.
Yeah, actually, do you think there's any chance that they could bring that wing out?
No, in fact, I saw a little bit of news that they had reached a decision regarding the upside down wing, and I think they decided that they probably weren't going to be using it.
Okay.
I want to see. Yeah, I don't think. I think they were thinking about it, but I don't think they're going to do it. But maybe we might see something. That'd be cool, right?
Because I thought I'd heard that they are the Ferrari wing is really good in lawn straights.
Mm-hmm.
That's particularly where it's at its best. And Shanghai, notably the longest straight on the grid. So
That's true.
I mean, there is a world, like if they were going to do it on any track, it would probably be here and Baku are probably the two tracks that it would be best at.
You know, I might be eating my words. So Fred, here on this article, Fred did say that there would be aerodynamic updates to the car in China. He did not say it was going to be this wing, but you make a good point. That really long straight we might see it. That would be incredibly exciting. I thought that was the best thing from testing. I thought it looked so sick, just so different, right? I'd be into that.
I do think that it was funny that they showed that off in testing, and without really even any evidence to prove that it helped at all. Mercedes still came out like, that can't be allowed.
Well, of course,
Get
you have
outta
to.
here.
I don't blame them. They're playing the game.
It's
I get
different.
It.
We don't
I get
like
it.
that.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't come out with a ton, but I mean, like, it should produce lift and give a serious reduction to drag. So it should work, but who knows? I imagine if they're going to use it, they're going to probably test it first, like in practice.
Sure.
But yeah,
that's exciting. I think that's all I have. Oh, I did have some slight news, I guess, since I forgot to bring this up a little bit earlier. The only little bit of news that I had outside of Jack Doohan going to Haas, which is awesome and we love that, was more of the talk of Christian Horner going to Alpine. Right? And now it sounds like Toto Wolff is trying to abolish that. He's trying to get his fingers in between them because he doesn't want Christian anywhere near Mercedes power unit.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's really interesting. And I suppose he might have a bit of say into that.
He might have a bit of
providing
say?
them their engines.
I don't know.
I kind of hate that though, because it's like why are you any different from like V-Carb and Red Bull then if you're like making decisions on their behalf?
Well, it's all speculation right now.
Yeah.
I've been hearing that there's some talk that some people like, and I don't actually think this is going to happen myself, but there are some people who are talking about the potential that, you know, Alpine has been trying to sell a major stake of their company. And so people are wondering, what are the odds that Toto goes and buys Alpine and turns Alpine into V-Carb for Mercedes?
That's crazy. I was just saying that. I didn't even think there was legitimacy to it. That's crazy.
And then similar to how
that's
Red
interesting
Bull,
because I would always assume Williams was V-Carb for Mercedes. Like,
but Williams is trying to do their own thing now.
are.
They're trying to return back to being a top 4 team, maybe winning a championship. And I mean, that goes against what Mercedes wants because Mercedes wants to be a winner.
Yeah.
So they don't want a team that's going to show up and beat them. They want a team that's going to be best of the rest.
Toto has also been very close to the Renault or something like that. I feel like he's always had his fingers on the Renault pulse a little bit.
A little bit, right?
Yeah.
Or if not Renault, then like Alpine. Like he's had a lot of friends over in that area.
Alpine, Renault. Yeah, I just feel like because like the whole Ocon thing, like Ocon was reserve and he got him into Renault.
Yep.
So yeah, it was all interesting. But that's very, very interesting news and something we need to look out for.
It's something to keep an eye out for. I personally don't think we're gonna see anything come out of it, but you never know.
Never know. Well, Mike, thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, this was fun.
Smelty.
Kev,
as always, thank you so much for everything you do, man. Thank you for Kev Korner. It was a lot of fun.
We got to hear you.
Folks, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe wherever you listen to us, whether that be YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio. I've been Joe. He's been Mike. We've been Banter with the boys. And we'll see you next time.
That's not an outro, by the way.
Peace.
Don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe. Tune in next time for more Banter with the boys.